You're watching The Forgotten Dollar, uncovering the wealth America left behind. This time, we're not talking about a vault, a lost currency, or a forgotten banknote. We're talking about $100 billion in real money, and a new federal agency that claims to have saved it by cutting what they call waste. It's called the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. And now they want to give part of that money back to the American people. Literally. Not in theory, not in tweets. In cold, hard stimulus checks. $5,000 per taxpayer. That's the proposal. Backed by Trump, pushed by Elon Musk, fueled by the most aggressive cuts to federal programs in modern history. But what exactly is DOGE? Where did these savings come from? And why is this proposal already one of the most controversial ideas in Washington? This is the story of DOGE, the $5,000 stimulus check, and what it says about the future of government, power, and wealth in America. Let's get into it. The Department of Government Efficiency was quietly established by executive order on January 20th, 2025, the same day Donald Trump was sworn in for his second term. Its stated mission was simple on paper: eliminate redundancy, reduce waste, and modernize how the federal government works. But what followed wasn't just efficiency, it was a purge. Within weeks, entire programs were gutted. Agencies were merged. Thousands of federal employees were laid off or forced into early retirement. Some hailed it as long overdue reform. Others called it a war on the public sector. Then came Elon Musk. Tapped by the administration as the lead innovation advisor for DOGE, Musk proposed a radical rework of federal systems, starting with digitizing paperwork for things like Social Security, passports, tax processing, and veteran benefits. He described it as replacing DMV-like systems with an Apple Store experience. And behind the scenes, DOGE moved fast. Outdated software was scrapped. Entire departments were automated. Dozens of no-bid contracts and legacy grant programs were terminated. By April, the Office of Management and Budget reported something unprecedented: over $100 billion in net savings in just 3 months. And this wasn't some internal claim. It was confirmed by multiple federal accounting offices, with savings coming largely from staffing reductions, software licensing cuts, and the end of long-term outsourcing agreements. Trump called it proof that the government was stealing from the people through waste. Musk tweeted, "DOGE just did more for taxpayers than the IRS has in 50 years. But the real shock came next. DOGE recommended that 20% of those savings, or $20 billion, be returned to the American people. Not as tax credits, not as programs, as direct cash, $5,000 checks, sent to every verified taxpayer. They called it efficiency dividends. A reward, they argued, for funding a government that was finally working smarter. And suddenly, the internet exploded. Some praised the plan as brilliant, a model of small government capitalism finally paying off. Others slammed it as a reckless stunt, a political bribe, a weaponized use of executive power to win public favor ahead of midterms. Congress was divided. Senate Republicans were largely supportive, though some were wary about setting a precedent. Democrats demanded deeper transparency, questioning whether the savings came at the cost of essential services. Multiple watchdog groups filed injunctions to review whether programs were unlawfully terminated. Meanwhile, economists raised questions of their own. Would $20 billion in sudden stimulus fuel more inflation? Would the check actually reach taxpayers in need? Was DOGE creating a dangerous precedent where public services could be slashed in the name of handouts? Elon Musk responded publicly during a live stream. People are smart enough to decide how to spend their money. If we can cut waste and return even a fraction to the people, that's a better system than bloated bureaucracy. But behind the headlines, a more complicated picture was forming. Critics pointed out that many of DOGE's savings came from canceled rural health grants, paused environmental cleanup projects, deferred infrastructure repairs, eliminated contract jobs in education and veterans affairs. In other words, money was saved, but services were lost. Some analysts called it austerity rebranded. Still, the public response was clear. In a March poll, 64% of Americans said they supported the $5,000 stimulus, even if it came with reduced government spending. Support was highest among independents, younger voters, and households earning under $50,000. DOGE had hit a nerve. For decades, Americans had been told the government was bloated, but nothing ever seemed to change. Now something had changed, and it came with a check. So what happens now? As of April 1st, the DOGE stimulus plan has no